Dan. Thank you very much. Our next presenter is Calvin. Calvin Hexter is a realtor specializing in investment properties from Edmonton. He brings a fresh energy to the real estate space, providing modern day experience with old school principles. He has experience in the past 10 plus years, over a decade, with over 100 happy clients. He again specializes with investment properties in the investment real estate space throughout Edmonton and the surrounding area. And he has a focus on cash flow properties, fix and flips, and creative real estate. Calvin, can you hear me?
I can. Thanks for the great introduction, Roland. And you know what I'll probably do is first slide, I'll just point at you every single time you want to switch to the next one. Looking back, I should have probably had a cool background like Daniel Yu, but I just got my tight little condo here instead. So thanks for having me. This is my first 7-minute presentation ever. So thanks for bearing with me. Welcome, guys. So happy to be a part of this tonight. I'm talking about Edmonton and why people are looking at Edmonton as an investment. So why Edmonton? Why am I working with clients from Vancouver, Toronto, outside of Edmonton? Many different reasons. One of the biggest reasons are purchase price. Our purchase prices are very affordable. And I think right now more than ever, if we do go into this COVID 2.0 and we don't want to put all of our eggs in one basket in a market that does cost considerable amounts of money to get into, Edmonton's a great choice. Edmonton's also very much known for its, or I guess Alberta in general, for its more relaxed landlord rules. We don't have any land transfer tax, no PST. We don't have a limit on how much we can increase rent on an annual basis. So if you guys want to increase it by 10, 20% after 365 days, boom, you guys go ahead and do so. So there's that option. Other reasons why is the market in Edmonton has been flat for the last 10 years. So I have to say that Edmontonians have grit. We have resilience. We haven't been seeing the crazy appreciation that we've been seeing in other cities. But what we have been seeing is great cash flow numbers. Our city isn't so weighted on just oil and gas. We're quite balanced with government jobs as well as manufacturing plants. So, unlike cities like Calgary, if oil does take a big hit, we're not usually crushed because of it. Okay. Now, what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you guys just a general kind of rule of thumb of what we typically see for cash flow. Now, the first one you guys see here, if you guys want to direct yourself to the screen, is condo apartments. What's an average purchase price? Well, it's way over $100,000, but I'm showing you what an average purchase price would be to achieve cash flow like that. Now, we just had a high-rise built, I think, last year, and there's condos in there going for $3-4 million. Those are not going to cash flow. But what is going to cash flow are these properties right here. So I'm showing you guys basic estimated purchase prices and what you can kind of see. So I'm going to walk through them with you guys. Now, condo apartments, great for Airbnb, short-term rental, not ideal for long-term rental. You get hit with a special assessment, boom, your cash flow is gone for 5 years. Townhouse, we don't see as many special assessments, cash flow slightly better. Purchase price is still pretty attractive, but I think we can do better. Now, bylaw 12800 passed in September of 2019, allowing us to suite duplexes, including half duplexes. So we can get into a half duplex. And for those of you guys that are listening right now that don't know what a duplex is, it's a side-by-side building separated by a party wall, whether it's a side-by-side, front, back. But you can get a half duplex for about $340,000 turnkey and see about $450 to $600 in cash flow. And kind of like Dan alluded to, if you're going brand new, your cash flow is probably going to be less, but you're also going to have more of a maintenance. You're going to be able to defer that maintenance for longer because you have that turnkey asset, which is super, advantageous for a lot of us, especially if you don't want to have to deal with that. The two most popular investments that I tend to work with are single-family detached suited houses, whether they're conforming or non-conforming or non-legal, which we typically see 90% of them being present in the market, are going to be cheaper and you're going to see bigger cash flow. But the legal ones are going to give you more security at the end of the day, knowing that the city's not going to come knocking on your door saying, hey, you need to legalize this. You need to add a second furnace, add whatever you need to make it legalized. So if you like the legalization side of things, these are the numbers you can kind of expect. Single family detached, you're looking at about $450 to $800 a month in cash flow, and you're looking at about a $400,000 purchase price. This goes on average. Now, just like in areas like Vancouver, because I feel like there's a lot of people right from Vancouver in this presentation. If you're buying closer to the university or hubs that are highly attractive, yeah, you're going to be paying a lot more and your cash flow might be less. Your vacancy is going to be better, maybe a better tenant profile, more of a selection, and potential for greater appreciation. These are just the averages, okay? The most popular return on investment for cash on cash in your pocket, which you usually see about a yield of about 12% plus, is suited duplexes. So if you have a duplex and you add a secondary suite, we're seeing about $1,200 to $1,800 in cash flow. Purchase price around $650 average. You buy near the University of Alberta, which is a very popular hub with vacancies less than probably 2%. You're probably paying closer to $900 to $1 million. So the nice thing about these options is that if COVID 2.0 does hit, and I know a lot of us are looking at using things like equity, pull that out and use it as a down payment for a purchase, you don't have to spend all of your money to get into a great investment that's going to provide you cash flow. And the best thing about these investments is that if we ever do see a rental contraction in the market, which we do see, like every market does see, and we know that vacancy rates go up and you need to drop rents, you're still cash flowing. Because if you're barely seeing cash flow right now, what if we do hit hard with this COVID 2.0? What if we do see a rental contraction? That cash flow goes to zip, and now all of a sudden you're paying out of pocket and you're banking on that appreciation that may or may not come if that infrastructure does come or that demand for population. So just a basic rundown. You guys can screenshot the hell out of that screen if you guys want, whatever you'd like. But those are kind of the averages that we see. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so let's go through BRRRR. Who doesn't love BRRRR? BRRRR is one of my favorite strategies for creating momentum in real estate. Why? Because our goal is to put money in, make that property better, force the equity up, and then try and pull as much of that equity out as possible, and let's rinse and repeat that same cycle again. So I'm giving you guys an example, and I wanted to pull it from one of my favorite clients in Vancouver that purchased this property last year, and he just purchased another one from me 2 months ago. So sold price, he bought a full duplex in Delton, which I'd consider probably like a B plus style community neighborhood, for $420,000. His down payment was $84,000. So this property had more or less a retro main floor, but it was rentable. I think he's getting about $1,450, not including utilities for the main floor. His goal was to add 2 secondary suites in the duplex, converting it into a 4-unit cash flow property. Now, once he completed that, the renovation cost was about $130,000. That's including things like holding costs. He didn't have to borrow the money, so we're not having to equate to, the crazy interest rates you're seeing from borrowing. He's more or less just paying for the mortgage, utilities, and then had the money to be able to renovate. The new value just got appraised. It actually got appraised at $625,000. So he was able to generate quite a bit of equity from adding this value to this property. Now you're probably asking me, well, Calvin, you're all the way in Edmonton. I'm not gonna frickin' do renovations when I'm like 10,000 miles away. Well, you know what? Roll in next slide. That's why you need a team. Anybody that's in real estate investing, which I think everybody here is, or if you're just starting out, my biggest tip to you when you're starting out is get a strong support system. Get a team that cares about you and what your goals are and listens to what you want, because that is the most important thing. So if you're looking at investing in Edmonton, we do have lawyers, accountants, handymen, general contractors that I'm going to recommend to you. And I'll give you a long list of them that have a credible background that can help support you in these projects. Okay. You probably end up hiring a general contractor as opposed to doing it yourself. But at the end of the day, the profit you're making, whether you're going with a turnkey asset and seeing great cash flow and, tenanting it day one or doing a burst strategy, either way you're winning. So I wanted to make sure that we do have the support for you if you do look at investing from abroad, like a lot of people do. So you're not stuck in your market at any point. There's always options and opportunities. And I'm always here to have that conversation. So I like to bring lots of energy and fun to it. I have your best interest at heart. And you know what? That's why I continue to work with some great clients. And it's just a growing list. So thank you guys very much for having me. Roland, I hope I was under 7 minutes. I was probably over. My apologies to the next presenter.